before
Yeah.
game 2. There we
Yeah,
go.
before game 2, yeah. We are not going back into the draft with having, weird as music going on. Either way, we just go all onto the Rift. And Nagia took the first little bit of poke from Yoshino, actually. He was on the top lane cannon. So they wanted to have the cannon against the Cassandra, which makes sense, of course. Cassandra can easily rack up a good early armor values, but not as much for the MR department, so cannon being up there makes sense. Actually, it was an auto attack that he landed. I mean, cannon hasn't leveled a spell so far, as we see here.
Yeah, just auto attack and dairy doing its thing. I like to see the aftershock coming through from Fook 1 will be a much more tanky Maokai, rather than these phase rushes we've seen before, or the first strike. We'll have to see how he continues along his build path, because we've seen a lot of junglers still go for that demonic embrace rush, even though it got pretty heavily nerfed on the Maokai. So, as we move on, just some topside starts. Once again, bot lane looks like it'll be the focus for this game. And as we can maybe get a look down to see perhaps some hooks flying out. Does not seem to be the case this time around, as once again Sora going for the relic shield just to try and keep himself a little bit tankier, a little bit healthier, but this time damage should stick a bit better for Team Wales without that healing to function.
Yeah, and also what we often see on these support enchanters is that they actually go for bone plating, which seems like a rune that doesn't really make much sense initially, but you see also bone plating from Puddin. But it's just that much damage reduction in the early game to make these early all-ins not really possible, as here we see B and Vid not really approaching this lane very much. They respect the level 2 coming out earlier for the side of Zeri Lulu, which seems a bit weird, but that's just the nature of this matchup, and with a few levels being in, it will be better for the Zarya now to this lane. I mean, we just now saw in game 1 how deadly it really can be. But so far they have to respect what Puddin and Zora can do.
It seems like this time around they couldn't land the early hook to force priority, but... And also Zeri level 1 is pretty strong with that right click, of course, being able to just chunk out a decent amount of health. Right now, a good hook will land, but as it goes through, it's just not a lot traded back. That's a good full pull through though.
Yeah, and also through the bone plating. I mean, this was with bone plating. Without bone plating, the sword would be chunked even lower. And there we see how paper a support Lulu can really be, as Mid and B can farm those next few minions. We see how they really play out this lane. Glowy in the mid lane, I talked about this. Getting the priority, landing the charm, yeah, also the Q, landing on both sides. So Glowy leading in both HP and the minion wave control. So he's up to a good start, even against his Jace, who's also far from a big early game jungler. That look weird.
Scar Award coming through from Killer Queen. But it's fine. He has moved in, he's taken the crab, and has set up a decent amount of control for the bot side. So Viv and B can feel free to push this out. They're a little bit cautious.
Those Scour wards shouldn't happen anymore. Why you just know? I mean, on the last patches, I see I get an indicator where the ward will actually show up. So this really is just negligence on the side.
The man says smart cast on. I don't know what to say.
Like they made it even easier for you in the recent patch. That's why I'm surprised. It's kind of ironic that this happens to a pro player.
Yeah.
Like by now I can do that, and I am very bad at this.
Yeah, I the smart cast. When you smart cast your wards, you don't get an indicator. I suppose that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Just stuffs it up a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He lurked around, kept it all safe and sound, and the wave just gets to play a little bit of ping pong back and forth.
Yeah. Okay, one last statement to this ward placement thingy. I think you have two options. Either you use the indicators, or you know your stuff. And Killer Queen just had neither of those. Either way, Yoshino knows his stuff and how to push in the Cassandra as a cannon. And this looks very rough for the Cassandra early on. He's down almost 2 full waves of minions, at least in the CS department, not in the experience department at least. And he's just happy to hit level 6 as soon as possible so he can be a champion in this lane.
Yeah, he really just struggling, trying to get as much as he can, trying to farm with the Natorfil strikes. Killer Queen was in the area, could have tried to do something to relieve pressure for his top laner, but decides not to bother. And
Oh
Yoshi's just
no.
gonna have fun, just have a free time beating up on this poor Cassante.
It's also a
He's
Cull on
just
cannon, so he's not even going for the aggressive build. He just goes, yeah, this will be a free lane. I just free farm and get 300 extra gold as soon as I cash in those 100 stacks, and he's almost halfway there. So that's going pretty quickly as well. As we see Glowy and Jane training a little bit. Glowy losing a little bit of his wave control as Jay's got a few levels in. Glowy maybe face checking something that he shouldn't face check though, but he gets the ward just in time and steps back.
had flash, had spirit rush. Looks like he's trying to sort of perhaps bait there, but Killer Queen is on the wall, so interesting. As it is right now, it's a small gold lead to the side of Flash, and that is entirely that top lane lead, because poor Mr. Nagia is just getting bullied around. It will be that demonic embrace rush for Fook1 with that blasting wand in hand. It means these saplings are going to be a little bit annoying, but still not quite as effective as he could be in the very early skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, they nerfed this demonic embrace build, and rightfully so. I mean, before it was just the Maokai saplings basically being like mobile Teemo shooms that chase you around and chunk you to like almost your entire HP bar and slow you while doing that. That was not so nice. So that being nerfed made a lot of sense, but of course, tanky Maokai builds still playable. Demonic embrace first. I mean, I think the item just in general is just too strong to not build. I mean, it's still just decent tankiness, some AP, some burn damage. Still basically all the stuff you want, despite it not being as strong numbers wise. It's still the best viable option to go as the first way.
Right now, just Killer Queen sort of pathing back and forth through the river, trying to make sure he can give his lanes the priority and the safety they need. It's not quite working out for poor Nagira on the top side, down at 20 CS at this point, and really just trying to scrounge all he can get. If he hits level 6, there is the potential for a play if he lands the full combo, but just struggling to keep up at the moment. And
I mean, they're both level 7. Yeah,
nothing's
so by now, I mean, it should be possible because they actually hit level 7 already. So in that regard, it's looking fine. But I mean, it's Yoshino really bullying the early game by going Source Force shoes early, even to just nullify any bits of MR that have been already bought by Nagia, as you see him already going for Mercs and the Ruby Crystal with Jane now here. Clearing this minion wave, and the lanes just kind of scaling next to each other. No early aggression so far from the side of Team Wales and Team Flash.
From Jane.
Much better start to the game than last game for sure.
Oh, for sure. Rift Herald is now on the table, 8 minutes in, and nothing has happened. Huge control from the side of the top lane should make this pretty comfortable for the side of T1, and especially with Glory getting chunked out by these saplings. I don't think you can really contest this at all unless you brought everybody, but nope. The entire bot lane rotates from Team Flash, and it's going to be a nice, easy Rift Herald for them, as the lanes just cannot keep up, especially this top side. Just getting a little bit out of control, and good trading. Just setting up a nice objective take for free.
Yeah, I think they actually tried to contest it on side of Team Wales, but this Empowered Shock Blast chunking Glory was kind of the deal breaker over there. They were like, nah, we can't really fight this. And I think even without that, it's not a good fight to take. I mean, especially with this top lane pressure being so huge. When Yoshino was already there, and Nagia had the choice, either drop the whole wave, which is very bad, or don't drop the whole wave and just not be around for Herald. So you just, use the conclusion that you just have to give away the Swift Herald, and with that, it's one small lead being picked up by the side of Team Flash. They have a very good start to this game so far. Gotta say though, mid lane, I don't know for why that has to happen, but it's somehow 20 CS down. That seems a bit too much for me, even in a match that should be slightly RV favored.
Yep, Glory just has shown pretty consistently. He's historically been one of the best laners in the VCS, and putting it to good use against Jane, one of our new players here. And Team Wales want to start something on this dragon, but the pressure is not in their favor in these lanes. So right now we see Glory stuck on the tower, could look for a wraparound, but now it's just going to be a bit of a back and forth. Reset comes through.
And Team Wales
being a nuisance.
Team Red should hurry, because if they take too long a time, then Putin would just be in position to really fight with them here. As he just now grabbed this bot lane wave, and maybe they actually try to contest inside of Team Flash. Fukwan can just easily walk up, but not quite fast enough to go for the smite fight. So it will be Team Wales to take their first pickup of this game, and with that, game kind of in an even state, and a much closer game than the first game for sure. And that's of course a welcome surprise.
Yes, it is. Just nothing really lost for the side of Team Wales, and Nagia able to get back a little bit for himself on this top side. Still struggling immensely as we're seeing the lane swap come through. Okay, ultimate force from Glory. He's gonna go in, misses the Q. So in the end, just an ultimate forced out by Jane.
It could be
was
huge.
An attempt, but this that's going to be a big turnaround, and there's the flash, not much done. Glory saves his own, and first blood and a bunch of tower plates going to go straight into the pockets of this Jace.
And this is huge. The Hell Charge will at least get 2 platings down here. And already, I mean, Team Flash was propelling this game with his top lane being working out as well as it should. And you called it ultimate being forced out by Glow, but I'm not quite sure if it was really forced. It to me looked like Glowy was trying to force a 1v1 play just because he felt like it and thought he could kill Jane in the 1v1 over there. But B is very, very trigger happy.
Does land, and here's Killer Queen to follow it up. They can't get through the tanky Fook 1, not through that wild growth, and now Vit's here. They have some damage, but Killer Queen's just going to die first. Now Glory's in, he misses the charm, rather it's flashed away, and in the end, Team Wales try to get back, but just overforce onto the tankiest member they possibly could have gone onto.
Yeah, they just go in and deal no damage and then just die themselves. It's like Team Wales think that they are Team Sharks or something, but they didn't really have any bite in that left, as we see Jane TPing back to the lane, finishing his Eclipse, and overall it's almost 3,000 gold by now. I mean, the Drake, of course, being a small consolation prize for Team Wales, but it just didn't need to happen. Be flashed for this, of all things. And it's just Fook 1 being targeted. Fook 1, I mean, it's AP Maokai, but it's still tanky enough to really, like, survive this initial engage. And, yeah.
Still has everything,
yeah. Vit tries to go in offensively, can't really finish anyone off. Glory also going for a Flash Charm. Nearly getting it done, but not quite. And with that, Team Flash propelling ahead of this of the second game.
If that hook had landed on Sora, it might have been something, but of course that flash away just put it all in the dirt for the side of Wales, and they're gonna just keep doing their best, try to find some picks. They still have, of course, that opportunity with how strong their composition is at finding them, as we saw in that first game. Vit this time around going for a much more standard build. Gale Force complete. Right, as his first item. So all in all, it's a pretty decent lead. It's 3,000 gold for the side of Team Flash, and it's looking a little bit like the reverse of last game. Maybe not quite to the same extreme, but
not at all.
Unable to find anything at this stage.
I mean, they don't really have much things that are really countable on the map right now. I mean, it's basically just a Drake, right? I mean, they haven't really gotten many turret plates or even a turret or any kill whatsoever. They are so far just now watching as Team Flash is kind of scaling against them, and especially if it's very low lane this game. They have the insurance policy for the late game, so it will be fine. Even the J is also very much strong in the juice, as we see turret plates. I mean, 1k to a single turret plate being taken by Team Wales. Yeah. That's looking pretty rough. Putin now being able to secure this top lane tier 1 turret to even extend their gold lead a little bit further. And for the side of Team Wales, what can you really do? I mean, you really need to find a pick with your pick potential. Nautilus, Ari with a charm still being on your side. Also Killer Queen with a good cycle can maybe make something happen. But not on the Aftershock Maokai, please. You really need to find either Sora or Putin probably. Maybe even Jane or Yoshino. But
right
anyone
now.
but Fook.
And now the depth charge will come down. He's going to use the Slicing Maelstrom to clear the wave. The ult does miss from B, but the hook does miss from B rather, but it doesn't really matter. That's a quick pick up. That's a kill over to Nagia, which he will greatly appreciate, having fallen 50 CS down. But what gets lost on the other side of the map, the mid lane tower, James is able to push through that with his Eclipse already built up. And they commit to a decent play, but as it is, Flash is just in a good spot to respond instantly.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, at least they show like some signs of life. We're getting the kill onto Yoshino, and they also clearly execute that dive with Yoshino not being able to really do anything about it, but they also spend so much resources on it. Mid lane tier 1 turret falling is very, very detrimental to the overall map control, so this one definitely hurts in their side. As the next Drake is spawning in a few seconds, Team Flash already being on it, and Team Wales have nothing to say against that. I mean, they probably do, but they can't really do much about it, so they just decide to not contest it whatsoever. And Team Flash having a great game. I mean, I can't really highlight it enough. And for the side of Team Wales, what can they really do? I mean, they can just still can go for picks like they did beforehand, but so far, it doesn't really lead to anything.
Yeah, can't quite seem to put things together right now. They've got position on that Rift Herald. Perhaps the blue trinket does come down, so Flash knows to play very cautiously, but this objective might be something for them to turn into a greater advantage later on, but as it is, Flash keep paying respect. They're not trying to contest. Hold that thought. They might go for the collapse though. Yoshino and Fuquan. Yep, the engage comes through, but it's on to kill a queen, and right now it turns around straight away. Glory gets a double Everfrost now. B trying to chase down, putting not able to happen. Nagia keeping Yoshino completely isolated on the top side, and it turns around. Flash are not able to get the collapse they wanted.
Yeah, Flash completely caught sleeping over there. I mean, they also burned so many summoner splits, but we will probably get a replay of that one as Team Wales is just rushing down the Swift Herald. Team Flash then trying to pull the trigger pretty late on the Nature's Grasp from Fuquan, and Fuquan just gets singled out while the rest of Team Flash can kind of just watch. Yoshino also being singled out on top side, and they just try to fight it on two sides. Here we see again, with Herald already being taken. Nature's Grasp is down. Cyclone to prevent more from happening. Vid quickly collapses onto him. Ever for some Glory by so much space. Glory in general here. Good work on the RE so far. And with that, Team Wales, another sign of life. I mean, the gold lead not extending, even shrinking a little bit. And another Rift Herald, which makes it that they will at least get one turret, a bit more map control, a bit more standing gold. Team Wales, I don't want to say it quite yet, but they look like they are back.
They're definitely showing that they're not out of the equation just yet, for sure. And it looked like, and I want to point out, Yoshino didn't actually have Slicing Maelstrom as it was forced down in that earlier play in the bot side. So that actually meant that the collapse, the pincer movement couldn't come through. Rift Herald will drop now, and mid tower will be secured. And with those two towers in the bank, that will really help Team Wales even things out. Back down to just about 1.5k, but this could be a good pick. Glory misses. Oh. The Everfrost comes through. B cannot get in place to put down a hook. If that charm had hit, though, that would have been a nice big pickup for Team Wales, perhaps.
Yeah, would maybe be the case, as the game kind of slowing down a little bit. Next Drake spawning in a bit more than 2 minutes. Baron will be up on the Rift in a few minutes, but with that composition, I don't think any team really wanted to tank this one up, as you will see again now. Glory tries to go for the pick, misses the charm. Yeah, double Everfrost snare, which is kind of good, but yeah. Ultimately not enough.
Show B hooking a minion that was standing in front of him. Okay, that's tragic. That's
maybe one of the observers has personal beef with B and just wants to make fun of him a little bit.
I guess so. They also showed his flash hook onto Fuquan earlier, so maybe B that just called him a mean name in solo queue or something. I don't know. But as it is right now.
I would be surprised if the observers are in the same solo queue game as the pro players. But observers are really smart. I mean, the LCK observers especially are known to be like very up in those solo queue games where they use that game knowledge effectively to show the right things on the map. That's definitely something to watch out for. Maybe that's also the case in VCS. We don't quite know.
I know there's former pro players who have observed, I don't know if they still do, but they have observed LCS, I believe. Some of the early Season 3 pros, but as it is, towers has just been traded across the map. Gold, pretty happy for the side of Team Wales, because even trades like this, when you're behind, that's good for you.
Yeah, especially if you're behind, you can make good use of that gold lead not extending in any way, and I mean, despite the huge oppressive lead for the side of Team Flash. Right now, I mean, we have an item, you have an item. It kind of equalizes itself. Vid also on the Gale Force and avoids. This time he actually likes mythic items for some reason. Yeah, the first game he was up on very much different things as he went for Assets Reaver and the BT. This game, it's all different. Less lifesteal, but more in-your-face damage to really work with. As we see, I mean, still 2 items on Jane and not yet on Glowy, so it's still a big lead for Flash, gotta be honest.
Yeah, this is the Rift Herald fight. Yoshino is here. 2 items complete for this cannon. Can absolutely tear through the backline of Team Wales if he gets a good angle. No exhaust to drop on top of him either. You're really looking for Nagia to try and push him away as the fight begins. That's your angle for Team Wales, and this is just a Chemtech Drake. This could be a big fight over not the best objective. Killer Queen can take a decent chunk of damage. And here comes the engage.
They catch Yoshino.
Twisting advance, but they've killed Yoshino. They just collapse on the flank and blow him up before he can respond. Now the dragon is open up. There's no hard engage left for the side of Team Wales, except a flash hook that misses. It's okay. Dragon and a kill. Team Wales coming up on top in these small situations. Just minor advantages.
And I hate to say it, but this is just one of those things that kind of differentiates the good teams from the not so good teams, right? Team Flash had an oppressive lead and they are just kind of dwindling it away. Yoshino getting caught like this definitely shouldn't happen. Are they going for desperation 20-minute Baron?
Okay, they're just turning on
it. Might work. Killer Queen is not in the area, and I'm not sure if Team Wales expect this, but this is a 3-man Baron. It takes half an hour to complete, and I think Team Wales, are they moving into it? I think B will spot it. Yeah. I don't think Flash can finish this one. It's so dangerous.
Yoshino still has everything because of his instant death of the last fight, but they're pulling off. They don't want to go for the turn. They don't want to go for the commit. They get a teleport out in the gear.
Yeah.
And but they trade it for Yoshino's. So
yeah. On the pro side, they get a teleport out of Nagia. On the contrary side, they get a teleport out of Nagia. For using that much time, using that many HP bars, and now having to reset themselves. That doesn't really seem well for a team that has to play from ahead and kind of should be in a position to really break open the game. And they're just kind of looking as Team Wales are clawing their way back into it, getting one Drake, getting another pick before the fight, and then ultimately it not really being a fight at all. Team Wales definitely look like they are back in control of this game despite being down in gold. And Team Flash, they seem kind of out of ideas to really snowball it here.
Yeah, there's nothing on the map save for this Baron. All outer towers are down, so you have to really commit to a deep push to try and get anything else really. So it's just going to be seems to be a lot of posturing around this Baron. Bit of a ARAM in the mid lane, and nothing really coming to it. Team Wales committing the push down, be taking a little bit of damage from the cannon. But it's just Team Wales in control of these waves, especially the central one.
Yeah, Team Flash not really having a good idea here. And no mid-lane push coming through from Team Wales though, because it could just easily be wave cleared. We saw the Demolish Pox already being there from the turret, but no commitment from Team Wales. As the game just kind of slowing down even further. And that's of course something that Team Wales generally likes here, as they are of course behind, but gotta say that the scaling from the bot lane from Team Flash especially looks kind of disgusting, right? I mean, it's very Lulu. You still need to respect that in theory, and it might just all come down to whether B can find a good engage on towards either Pullin or Soa, or if that's not the case, or if they can get a pick up to Yoshino before fight again, and if the ultimates really are in sync on the Team Flash, because despite them kind of dropping the ball here, they actually might be able to afford it as they are scaling so well with this composition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth remembering the stakes at hand for these teams. Whoever wins will go up to tie SBTC Esports, and both these teams have that 1-0 head-to-head record against them. They will technically also be above Buffalo, but Buffalo has yet to play today, so that will likely even up, or unless Bucks pull something out. But this time it's Team Wales starting the Baron. Yoshino is on the wrong side of the map and no teleport available.
Yes,
Just
no
sort of
TP
check,
available.
just sort of doing a damage check though.
Yeah, damage check and a reaction check as well. I think if they will probably like, if we start this Baron right here, will they react to it, and will they even be maybe even too nervous to pull the trigger and actually maybe even bait at the TP? But of course, Yoshino's TP not being up, so there was nothing really to gain there in this instance. And the damage check, it looked okay. I mean, they definitely chunked this Baron quite a bit with that. And if Team Flash would not be in the position to react to that, it might just be the Baron for Team Wales, with them completely then stabilizing the game, if they haven't done so already, right? I mean, Team Flash...
Imperial Mandate Maokai jungle?
It could be. I mean, he has a fairy charm that implies that it will be one of those, how do I say, enchanter items. And it should be Imperial Mandate, right? I mean, what are the other options, really?
They already have
Moonstone?
Shirelias on Sora, so I wouldn't expect double Shirelias. So Mandate is what you build on support, Maokai.
Yeah, maybe Mandate then, I guess. I mean, beforehand it was like Lianvis, the heavy AP, but the heavy AP got nerfed, so you don't got a heavy AP anymore. Maybe Imperial Mandate will just be the Band-Aid fix to still be a damage-heavy Maokai. I mean, they don't really need more AP in their composition, actually. They have Zeri, they have Cannon. It's kind of okay. It could just be a full tank Maokai, and I would recommend it for him. But VCS1 seems to disagree.
Yep, but okay, Glory and Killer Queen sort of looking for a flank angle.
They got Fook
in a dangerous position, and he is not very tanky. The Aftershock will do a little bit, but he has built no resistances, and that is Jungler off the board and Baron on it. Yeah,
Jungler dies right before the Baron, in a little sense, as this could just now be started by Team Wales. But there's still poke on Team Flash, right? It's still Empowered Shock Blast from Jane coming up, maybe even a potential Yoshino cannon flank. And they get his Flash right now, yeah. And they should just do this game of start the Baron, bait a reaction from Team Flash, and then just keep pulling the trigger in these little extended skirmishes. And so far the Baron dropping to half HP. It should be ultimately the Baron for Team Wales, but Team Flash, of course, they want to force something. Yoshino goes in.
Oh, but he gets taken straight out by Nagia. The Baron does go down. Everything comes up Team Wales. Nagia perfect on that all-out, removing Yoshino's ability to get that slicing Maelstrom. They can lose the tower.
Such a good play. Like, Yoshino was about to pull off the very deadly flank with Blast Plant, cannon in the backline for slicing Maelstrom, but all out really preventing it, as of course this Baron comes at one price. It will be the Drake going over to Team Flash, as Team Wales needs to either reset or push this top lane tier 2 to a bit. So at least the consolation prize on the side of Team Flash, but ultimately you're probably not happy with this. I mean, you had such a good gold lead, now you're back on even. Drake's score also evened out, but Team Wales with this Baron can do so much more. Still has 2 minutes on the buff and can push more of those inner turrets here.
Yeah, so far you got the even trade. You got that mid lane tier 2 tower, which is a really good pickup for Team Flash. Nagia looking for something, but as you said, Baron still available for 2 minutes. Definitely high opportunity for Team Wales to blow it open. They've got 1,600 gold out of it, and they're just looking for a little bit more. It's going to be a bit hard though. Good wave clear from the side of Team Flash.
Yeah, definitely decent wave clear. On that side, the AP Maokai kind of better than the tank Maokai would be, of course, but regardless of that, we have seen these last few skirmishes where the non-tanky Maokai was kind of the problem, especially getting caught like that. And I mean, Spark Touch is a good ability, right? You can just easily reposition to basically anything, as this inner turret gets taken out easily, and Team Wales can just move to the next one, right? I mean, there's still one standing in the bot lane, and if they all group up for this one, Team Flash cannot really step up, if they would be inclined to respect the dive, and with this turret looking like a formality, or does it? Half of his HP getting taken out pretty quickly, and yeah, they will just easily take it here.
Yeah, pretty decent wave clear, and not the longest range on Team Wales, but now perhaps looking for Flash flank catch onto Yoshino. Doesn't even get this Maelstrom off once again, failing to use that ultimate to try and defend himself. And if they can someone buff that top mini wave mid, okay. They're not going to, but they're going to crash this one, teleport as well. Just keeping the pressure on.
They'll just go for the inhibitor, I think. I think if Beast Hook hits and they just easily get another catch, they just go for the end there. But that's not happening, so it will just be in quotation marks, only be the inhibitor, but Yoshino getting called out again. Kind of sad to see, but of course the catch potential from Team Wales is definitely respectable. We addressed it earlier. It's Everfrost Ari, it is a Nautilus, it is a Killer Queen of the Cyclone, and even Nagia has some sort of CC in his arsenal, as well as Vid would have with the Blade Caller. There's just so much that can potentially catch you out, and that's just now what happened to Yoshino. Also, I think not ulting is fine there. I mean, it would just be a waste anyway. He doesn't really kill anyone at this point of the game, is what I think. But with that, Team Wales starting to get really good control of this game. Now being in the gold lead, having this inhibitor down. And it is an inhibitor close to the Drake, so it will not be that big of a deal. But you still don't want to fight against super minions if you're Team Flash here.
However, given it's 2 for 2 and Drakes, and the time is relatively synced, it could be an issue as it comes towards Baron. And yeah, as it is, they pick up a number of towers. Does Team Wales pick up 4 overall, I believe? Yep, 3 outers and 1 inhibitor. So just a lot of health coming, a lot of gold. But I'll get there eventually. Coming in from Team Wales. And now we settle down for a little while as we wait for the next objective to spawn. Side laning AD carry is gonna make the incursions a little bit less threatening from Team Wales right now, but they get to just sit here and make sure they own this topside jungle, and when the Baron spawns, they can just move up and take it with ease.
And Chloe even TPing to that ward to be just a bit faster with the push, so they have a sync push in both mid and top lane, as bot lane of course already keeping Yoshino busy with the super minions alone. It's here Nature's Grass got out pretty early though.
Nature's Grass comes out, but everyone's able to disengage.
Chloe flash charm.
Chloe misses everything.
No, that's not fair,
okay.
Barbie. Come on.
He
instantly forces a flash. That's not a miss.
Basically, I'm just trying to say he doesn't land anything. Nothing connects.
That's true.
I was going to say he missed.
Not debatable.
I was going to say he missed the Everfrost, then he flashed. So I was halfway through a sentence, alright?
Okay, sure. Sure. Poor
He's
Glory.
going for a Lich Bane.
That's an item? I didn't know.
What is with VCS players and building weird? They just go, I feel like a random Lich Bane today.
I'm thankful for him because that just reminds me of the item existing. Otherwise I wouldn't have known that. As Lich Bane kind of got made opposite by Shadow Flame, but he just has both. I mean, it adds something to his burst combo. I don't hate it even. I mean, he probably could make different stuff with his managed gold. Maybe just go for death cap components. But for the power spike right now, it's probably very, very strong.
Yeah, if he was... I'd like to see him, maybe, if he was side laning a bit more, I'd definitely understand it for the tower taking potential. But right now, Dragon was up, Dragon was taken without any real contest, as Team Flash wanted to just make sure that Baron was not as easy to get. Glory, dash in, unless the Everfrost lands the charm, everything catches onto Jane this time. And now with the mid laner down, Glory is still hunting. He's wrapped around. He might have gone a bit too far, but it's just Fook and Sora. And now the collapse onto Pudding. He's gonna dash over the wall. And there's a huge slicing maelstrom. It picks up 2. But can he survive against Vid? Vid is going to just lose out. And Fook is lasting forever. Killer Queen is going to turn it back around. And now it's just a Lulu left. In the end, Team Wales do win, but it is much closer than it needed to be. They have a super minion wave pushing. They're gonna go for the end.
I think they go for the end. Yeah, it's super minions and 2 members against just 1 Lulu. Sora really needs to be the hero in this moment for the Team Flash. It's kind of sad because this fight is looking very good for the side of Yoshino, getting the triple kill in the back line, with Glory extending very, very far. But speaking of that Glory, he's very, very low HP. And this will not be the end of the game. A TP for him coming out, Jane can just...
Teleport from Jane!
Can he kill Killer Queen?
Glory was spotted, but it is a Nari. And because he went back, Killer Queen also gets out. But it's both inhibitor towers fall as the super minions take it down.
Both Nexus turrets even. That definitely hurt, and I want to see that fight again. Yeah, because it looked kind of good by many players there. I mean, Glory's initiation was kind of decent, as here we see again a player here. Yeah, he's what I'm talking about. Just baits out the Edge of Night shield first with the Q. I mean, it's not really a bait, it's not an active. But either way, he gets down the shield, then just follows up with Everforce, the cone lands, he can just charm up, and there he kind of overextends too far.
The teleport.
Yeah, Glowy could actually go into Fook and Sora, but the problem is he should be there for Yoshino to charm him if Yoshino dives the backline, and then Yoshino actually gets the backline access, so the fight is a lot closer than it should have been if Yoshino making the best out of it.
The hook lands onto that Edge of Night, and
again,
the Maelstrom is huge once again. Killer Queen does survive, or goes into that Guardian Angel, and now Fook is dead, so is Yoshino. That's 2 for 1. Glory is running away from Puddin right now. They have to be so careful.
It's overall trade deal that you can, of course, go on with just sacrificing B to get both the jungler and Yoshino down. So this Smite being not able to be used. It could just be the Baron for Wales, but their HP bars are so chunked that they still play against Jane and Pullin, so it's too hard to just instantly force a Baron, and Team Flash is making a stand from behind here and just being able to make good use of this counter ultimate. And Yoshino is close to finish his death cap. He would be even scarier if he finishes that one. And this game not over yet, even if it looked over a few seconds ago, with the Nexus being very, very exposed on the side of Team Flash. So maybe around Seoul will be the next big fight. Gotta say though, for Team Wales, at some point it would be lucky for them if both objectives are there, because they can get either one, and I think they are very happy with either one. I mean, they could get the Chem Soul and trade it for Baron, or could the Baron and trade it for a single Chem Drake, which is something that they are very happy with.
Yeah, this time around, Yoshino doesn't have that flash, doesn't have it as easy to get on top of Team Wales. Nagia as well, we need to check him for that all out. It was great in that first Baron, able to remove Yoshino from the play, but now as we move back to Baron again, Slice Maelstrom is up, my bad. Everything is up, but no flashes for Yoshino. Gonna be hard to enter the pit. This Baron should just fall down before they even get an opportunity.
That's disappointing. They don't even try anything there. Just kind of watch as Team Wales can really finish it. And Wales, having all the time in the world to go for the reset, 1 minute for the next Chemtech Drake, is on the timer, and they can just easily just shove the wave, then reset, and then go for the Drake area. Gotta say though, there's a little bit of a window to get the vision for Team Flash.
It's an exposed Nexus though, so they have to be really careful, because they can easily, and if they leave their base to Team Flash, they can very open up the opportunity for the Dragon. Fook 1, here comes the Nature's Grasp. Vit should be okay. Nagia able to tank that up. Glory in no man's land though, but it doesn't matter. Here comes the Cyclone, and Yoshino barely gets to use the ultimate. It doesn't do anything, and now Nagia's going to put in straight back into the team. Now they just need an inhibitor, and they can easily finish this game. It's all up to Jane and Sora once again.
It's down to it. It's over.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Open Nexus. Jane gets one back, but now they're mad. They want to kill Sora. He stopped them from winning earlier, but it doesn't matter. Sora survives, but Team Flash does not. It's Team Wales with a nice 2